Osama is a Vice President, Chief Technical Officer at Ashland, and he leads, in fact, Ashland's research and development. And he has various responsibilities in Ashland, and from research and in chemistry to process development, but all are strongly related to how to push innovation into chemical products. And his talk now is Ashland Innovation to the Future, Accelerating Growth and Creating Value, common word, in a global economy. Osama?
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you very much, and thanks for the organizer for inviting me. Today, I want to give you a different topic. You did not see it in the whole presentation. I'm not going to talk about sustainability. Sustainability will come with it. But I want to think about the word chemical innovation. So we're talking about chemistry. So our raw material. So it's a chemistry is so important for this conference. And that's what I'm going to talk with you about. Before I talk about it, how many of you know about Ashland? If you know, please raise your hand. Very good. Thank you very much. Because the reason I'm asking that is because Ashland went through a significant transformation related to what's going on in the chemical industry for the last 20 years. And an example of what is going on for the chemical industry, you look at Ashland. As a matter of fact, just this week, we announced the spin-off of Valvoline. Do you know Valvoline, the company that the oil? We spin it off from Ashland and become an IPO, and now it's an own company separated from Ashland. Why is that? Because we are, as a company, we think we are going to be a premium specialty chemical company. I'll give you an example. Take a look what happened in that. This is what life is all about. Since 1995, look how many acquisition Ashland acquired and how many spent off and sold to become a premium specialty chemical company. And that's what's going on in this world. Like the chemical industry is changing significantly, and this is an example of what's going on. As I mentioned, this week we spinned off the Valvoline from that to have a transformation of it into a specialty chemical company and to be one of the best company in the world from specialty chemical company. So, but just if you look at carefully, in 2008, Ashland did a significant acquisition, which is Hercules, a very famous company. And in 2011, bought also ISP, International Specialty Products. Two different companies. That's the reason that driving force for the innovation and for the specialty chemical company, because of those major two companies now Ashland own. And we bought just this year a Zeta Fraction. It's all about sustainability. It's all about natural. It's all about extraction from nature to have an ingredient for anti-aging for L'Oreal and Henkel and other, and Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble and others for something like that. But what exactly the new Ashland will look like? We have two companies or two segments. The first one of them is, we call it the industrial specialties, which we enter the coating, construction, adhesive, energy, which is the oil field, composites, intermediates, and solvents. And we have the consumer, such as pharmaceutical, the coating of the tablets, the binder of the tablets, the how to make the medicine dissolve in the body faster or slower. And we have a personal care, from skin care to hair care to oral care to home care. Then we have the nutrition and beverage. So that's amazing to be in a company like that, to be scientists and to be hitting all these type of applications. So what exactly this company, the new Ashland, will look like? Take a look. This is why the driving force behind Ashland. So this is where the chemical innovation comes. Imagine a company now, when you eliminate the Valvoline and all of that, it's going to be $3.6 billion company, all about specialty chemical company. What do we have? We believe no other company in the world has what we have combined under one roof, such as the cellulosics and the natural polymer, the acetylenic and the PVP type material, the acrylates, the vinyl ether, the vinyl ester, the maleic anhydride, the biofunctional, which is the natural, and the polyurethane under one roof of chemicals. Okay, so when you have the cellulosics as a manufacturer, you have around $1.2 billion of ingredients of manufacturing for these type of materials. So the challenge, in addition to this, we have the design, the measurement science, the performance, and the processes in the same company. So why am I saying that? Because I want to talk about the innovation, how we can go forward. Take a look. So, for example, that's what the chemical reaction happening. So, from innovation point of view, companies like that take for example, take vinyl pyrrolidone, and you make many polymers related different applications using one chemicals. So you can use it for construction, for adhesives, for pharma, for personal care, for whatever you want. But you start from one ingredient and you make it for different applications. Another one, you take maleic anhydride, for example. We make even the ingredient itself, that material in Neal, West Virginia, we make the maleic anhydride as is, and you can make any ingredient you want, including the sustainability and natural oil to make for pharma, composites, coating, energy, hair care, whatever you want. As you can see, from one ingredient, you can make many applications. With regard to this, Tuesday of next week, because this is a very important topic, we just published a book. Please, I encourage each one of you. I edited a book with around 650 pages on all maleic anhydride technology. And all of it, our scientists contributed to this book. It's a fascinating, because the last book was written about maleic anhydride was in 1982. For the last 34 years, no one in the community managed to find a lot of publications, a lot of nice chapters, but to take the 34 years of wealth knowledge and you put it in one book. And that's a book, I worked with Springer on that, and they invited me to write it, and we wrote it with all of it. I have 4 of Ashland employees help me of writing this 10 chapters of this book. So I really encourage you, the 4th of October will be published. Before I talk about this, so everything you saw, was a synthetic polymers. You make it from nature. You make it from synthetic material, either vinyl pyrrolidone, maleic anhydride, vinyl caprolactam, whatever you name it. But we have also a material from nature coming, which is the most abundant green chemistry in the world, is the cellulosics. Cellulose coming from wood, coming from cotton. So you take it and it's just from the trees or cotton, you make the cellulosics. And then what we do at Ashland, we just make it just react with the sodium or caustic, sodium chloride, sodium hydroxide or something like that to make some chemistry, as you can see, like hydroxyethyl cellulose, methyl hydroxyprobyl cellulose, methyl cellulose, anything you want for, again, a diverse of application that you see. So fascinating. Now we have not just a synthetic polymer, but also the natural polymer that can provide different variety of chemistry that can fit multi-applications. So now, up to this moment, this is what we have. So why am I talking about that? I'm not just telling you what we have. I talk about the chemical. Now let's talk about the innovation. So where is the chemical industry going forward from innovation? What an environment such as, you take a look, the slowing in Latin America, in Europe, and with the Brexit, North America with the Trump factor, with Latin America, it's whatever you think of. In China is slowing down. So where is the chemical company is going? How can you innovate? Take a look. If you look at it carefully, this is a very, do you guys know a company called Nokia? Of course you know, right? How many, if you anyone has a phone from Nokia? No one. In 2003, Nokia was the #1 phone company. At that time, Apple had no phone. Samsung doesn't have the phone. Nokia was on the top of the phones. What happened at that time, I remember because I was working with Steve Jobs and the team at that time, when people started involving themselves in the iPhone business, and with the iPod, and Nokia was saying, we are on the top. So if you look at that, to do innovation, you innovate, you introduce, you grow, then you mature it. If you don't immediately start again, hand in hand, to have the cycle moving, to start innovating, otherwise you'll decline and die. You have to start innovating, introduction, growing, maturing, then immediately to start going up and up. What happened to Nokia, they enjoyed the money here and stopped innovating. And the people start behind the scene growing and growing and growing, and Nokia start going down. And this we're talking about something happened just 10, 13 years ago. So it's a very nice lesson why innovation is so crucial going forward. So, but that's at the same time, so how can we innovate? Who doesn't want to innovate? Every one of us wants to innovate. Every company, every manager, every CEO say, go and innovate. But what are the challenges facing us to innovate? From Ashland point of view, we have challenges. From my point of view, a man running the R&D of a company like that with the wealth of science that I showed you. So the thing is waking me at night is something like this. Challenges, the first one is you think of emerging high-value technology needs. For example, we are not in a business at that time with lithium-ion battery. It's a growing business. How can we enter? How can we take a piece of that pie? Where can we, who is going to work on something, is an emerging technology coming in, and how can you work on it? Then you're already enjoying an existing market share. How can you grow it? Every CEO is saying, you grow the business. I want you to grow the business. How can you grow it? If something is already exists and you have the share, how you want to grow it? Or how can you innovate an established product line? I showed you the vinyl pyrrolidone, the cellulosics, some of them known since 1945. 1950, 1960. Where can we innovate and establish technology? Then, how can you imagine you do it? How can you have a speed to the market? How can you respond to the region needs? If, for example, in hair care in Brazil, you need to straight your hair. In China, you need a curly hair. So how you want to respond to the region that you are in? Manufacturing, when you innovate something, you want to have, do you have the real manufacturing to manufacture the innovation? Or you want to fit your innovation in the existing manufacturing? You have to invest in the manufacturing or not. Yesterday we heard about the regulation, REACH, EPA, all of that. Are they communicating with each other? What's on the list, what's on not? What's the toxicology? Animal testing versus not animal testing. Where should we do that for a human being, as L'Oreal will know? Resource allocation. Where should we put our resources? In India, in North America, in China? Where should we do that? And where should we put that resource? Then the talent management. How can you hire the best? To be the best, you have to hire the best and to keep the best and develop the best. As a senior leaders, this is our responsibility to attract the talent to our organization. Then, how to leverage the talent worldwide. Where you want to put them? How can they interact with each other? Those are challenges facing any company, I'm very sure, when we come to innovation. So how do we respond to challenges like that? What should we do? Take a look. From my point of view and my team point of view is the following. How to address it? We say innovate or die. There is no choice. If you give up, you say, you know what, let's just quickly, let's go, we need to grow this quarter, that's it. You have to show the investors. If you want to do that, that's fine, but grow or die. So to do that, I showed you in our case, we have a 70 platform of science. Build on your core. Build on what you have. If you have something so significant, don't go and start jumping on something else. Take your core and build on it because you know more than anyone else about what you have. Try to build on your core. Second thing, again, yes, you need a sustainable material or green material, but to be economically valuable. You can't start creating things the customer doesn't, you cannot pay for it. So, like L'Oreal yesterday were saying, I need sustainability, but I will not pay that amount of money. I give it to me, but not with that amount of money. So make sure it is economically valuable. And increase customer intimacy is so important for us. Then we focus on the regions. Each region has their own issues, their own problems. How can you take the best problem from each region and work on it? You have to have a cross-functional team, leverage the open innovation and external technology, and decrease complexity. Because simplicity is crucial in our business. Because so easy, because when you become bigger and bigger, so you become more complex. This plan, you want to sign this paper, how you want to ship a sample from here to there, from China to North America, how you want to do that. So to simplify the process will help innovation. Then, again, simplicity of management, and we are working on it in the structure, and at the same time, empower the people. Really empower them and keep them improve their accountability. Yes, they are empowered, but at the same time, they are accountable. And finally, manage the talent and develop the talent and retain the talent. Otherwise, will be a huge challenge. So what we do at Ashland, so to respond to all of this, we have like to balance in the innovation, we have something like almost enhancing the core technology, like almost TSR, tech service, maintaining the business. We have resources on building innovation within the core technology. We have the upstream research. One thing I did not tell you about, and it's fascinating, we already filed over 21 patents. Imagine, as I told you, we have all this chemistry, the natural and the synthetic. Imagine if you put this chemistry together, marry them together, make a hybrid. Because each one, I will show you in one slide, because each of this chemistry has an advantage than the other one. So imagine if you make a covalently bonded between those chemistry, which is called the hybrid chemistry. Can you take your technology from one level to the other? And that's what I showed you over here, such as the hybrid technology, cellulosics or pyrrolidone or acrylate. How can you mix them, not mix them, covalently bond them to make a new, novel, new to the world polymer? And the open innovation. Those two things, we call them technology push. Those two things, we call them the market pull, the unmet need that you want to work on. So this means that, and if you do that carefully, we really turn the science into money. That's our way of doing that at Ashland with the new Ashland that we are working on as we speak. So here, what I described, we have the technology push, such as the upstream and the market pull. And we have the unmet need. And we use the external technology or the open technology as a catalyst to build, either by doing that, which is using the blueprint and the voice of the customer, or from our experience as a supplier of raw materials, we also know we help the customers achieving their objectives. Say, come to me, I will help you. Really, my team and I, to help you to achieve your objectives, because we have this customer intimacy, we can work together on it. For the technology, for the market pull, we talked about the stage and gate. We have also a stage and gate. So important to manage your resources. It's so important to manage your projects, because every salesperson will come, oh, the customer sold me this. How can you manage your innovation? It's so like managing your money in the bank, how you want to manage it. So the money, the project that's coming here, who is bringing the idea and the opportunity to the innovation pipeline? And how can it move from one stage to the other? The more you do it, the more you master it, the more disciplined you are, the faster you get the product out and you can make the money. So a lot of people talk about the stage and gate, but how you want to fit it into your organization? Each stage and gate, yes, you have to make it sure it's a flexible that can fit your company, not other people's company. Bob Cooper, yeah, he's talking about it as a generic one, but how can you fit what Bob Cooper said into Ashland, for example? And that's what we are, we have our methodology, how to manage our building the core and the market pull projects. For the technology push, we have, as I mentioned before, like between the, just I'll give you an example here. I told you about the hybrid technology. Imagine if you take the cellulosics and the peridone and you make a covalent bond, make a novel polymer between the natural and the synthetic. And because each one of those giving you a property, we sell property. When a customer comes to us, doesn't need a polymer, needs a functionality, need a performance. Need something that, can you give me a film former? Can you give me an encapsulation? Can you give me a rheology modifier? So those ingredients, some of them they give one, not the other. So by balancing between the chemistry and the performance, maybe you can get a novel innovation, a new way to fit the business that we are in, which is our foundation. Okay? So the other thing is, we also speak about open innovation. For us, again, so each company has their own way. What's open innovation means? For us, again, we fit, it's good for us, maybe it's not good for other supplier or other raw materials, but what's good for us, we divide it into two ways. We have all our own strategy. The strategy is the following. We have, we call it external technology, which is collaboration with universities. We have a collaboration with universities in Europe and in Asia and in North America. We are selective professors that we are working with. We have a very good relationship with them. We sponsor PhDs, postdocs that work on projects that related to us, not for that to be a mad scientist, work on anything you want. Something really relevant that can improve our market and our growth. And sometimes testing and unique testing we need. And for the innovation partners, which is sometimes working with the startup companies, I'm always eager. I always say, guys, if you have a startup company, you have something good that can fit our business, talk with me. We can talk. We have a sales force. We can work on something like that. So we go to conferences to see those startup companies that really working on something relevant to what we do. And we said, you know what? Let's either I buy you, I license something from you, or we work together on an agreement that will be win-win situation. So that's what we call it, that's our strategy from open innovation point of view. But there's nothing will be important that managing your intellectual property and your patents. So each company has also, you can file, you file here, you file there, but you start asking your scientists, how many that company has? Some people don't know. How many, because you know, imagine integration, company coming, merging to other things, many things you own, but nobody knows. So what is the strategy? You have to know as a company to managing your innovation, you have to look at your IP. For us as Ashland, we say our IP is a function, we function it as a company assets. It is the bottom line of our business. Okay, to do that, so we say how to patent, why to patent, how, what, and what's the matrix that you do to know you are successful, and are your patents making really money or not. And the last slide I have here is that, so how to making the great things happen, how to make it happen. So you have the patents, you have the open innovation, you have the chemistry, you develop that. For us, for Ashlands, we have the following. We say we have to have a genuine collaboration. Our customers is our heart. This is in the heart of everything we do. We make sure we have a collaboration, customer intimacy, what we do. A meaningful innovation, not just for the sake of innovation. We are not in academia. We work on something really relevant to what we do to drive our innovation forward. The expert in molecular science, measurement science, processes, formulation, applications. And finally, we have the meaningful marketing knowledge and manufacturing and sustainable solution of what we do. If you can take that and you ensure that your customers are aware of all of that you are working with them on that will be great achievements going forward with your innovation. And the last slide here, I truly believe the future belongs to those who invest in innovation. Because innovation needs patience, investing money, and if you look at it carefully, what I put here, like here is the the iceberg here, as you can see, the more you discover, the more this go down. Because the more you know that you don't know. There's a lot of things to discover. The more you discover things, the more doors you close in front of you. So you open more doors, and more doors can be opened in the future. So that's what innovation, that's the way we survive. And it's a choice each company will make. And which choice you want to make, that will be up to the organization that you are in. So thank you.
Thank you, Adama, for this excellent and very dynamic talk. And it's open for discussion now. There any question? Hannes?
Okay.
Very good presentation. One question.
Sure.
You showed the picture where you have
the knowledge, the detailed knowledge about the chemistry, this balanced.
Yes.
And then the opportunities in other industries.
Let me go back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one. I like that very much. So the performance attributes. And what do you think, what would be a good way in, let's say, combining these business ecosystems here that you do not know and your science ecosystem where you have the knowledge? What is your experience? How to find more of that opportunities out in the world?
Exactly.
Yeah?
First
for the
of
right
all,
ones, yeah?
By the way, it's very good questions. First of all, for marrying, we didn't know that because now we just filed a patent, just to inform you. This is a new, before even touch to this area here, this area, for example, if you take the cellulosics, such as hydroxyethyl cellulose, and you not mixing it, make it like a real marriage, a real covalent bond between them. What is going to happen? The first question, those kind of molecules are unknown. What is the performance? Are they solid? Are they liquid? Are they high TG, low TG? What does it look? Are they film former? So we try to understand what that chemistry, what that new ingredient look like. Then, after we understand this carefully, we start looking, wait a second. So is this one can give us, we start giving it to our application team and our customer, maybe we can look at the encapsulation, rheology, the more we understand here, the more you understand that novel, new to the world chemistry, the more you start saying, my gosh, this can fit here or something I don't have yet. But you need to understand what you are making. And we have in our group something called measurement science, that people that their job to understand the molecular weight, the real mechanical, physical properties of those novel molecules. Then based on that, we say, you know what, how can we fit them in the other area? You're welcome, thanks.
Question here?
Good morning. Very interesting talk indeed, and very dynamic. In your innovation process, where and when do you actually bring R&D together with marketing?
It's from the beginning. There's a very good question also here. Sorry. Here, this gentleman with the tie, that's marketing, the commercial team, and this is the R&D, and both of them, you have the sales, the marketings, and the R&D. That's the three of them combined. And look at that, what I did here. Look at, when you go from a stage to the other, you are handling it from a stage to the second stage. We say the marketing, the general managers, working with the R&D to handle it over to the next process, because will be no surprises. You don't want the R&D to take over that or the marketing without, so all the team together. So when you take it out, everyone on the same page, because that's a major problem in organization. How is the sales, marketing, and R&D, can they communicate? Sometimes you find marketing and R&D good, but not the sales, or marketing and sales are good, but not the R&D. So to bring that three together, and by the way, from Ashland point of view, we own, my team, I have one person reports to me directly. He owns the process, but not the portfolio. The portfolio owned by the commercial team, but we own the process. We say, you know what, we manage how many projects we have because it's going to impact how many R&D is going to work here. So we manage the process, but not the portfolio.
So how do you manage the choices that you need to make around in which areas do you have internal capabilities on application development?
So for us, that's a good question, by the way. For us, each company has a strategy. Our strategy, we are having how many we have, for example, for personal care, for us, so important, skin care, and hair care and oral care. If something comes to those three, we must act quick. When you come to industrial, coating, and adhesives. So 5 segments. Anything beside it is icing on the cake. But those 5, we must take, because the growth engine of our company coming from those 5. So we are always looking behind, how can we improve? But those must be secured. So we have 5, our strategy this way, because we know where the GP is, how much money we're making. So this 5, we keep them like our main growth engine. And always, as scientists, all of us will be walking around it to see what else we can bring in as a growth engine, number 6 and number 7. But we have 5 are the main things.
Is there another question? If not, I have one, maybe a little bit disruptive. But on your slide, you insist on the innovation within core technology.
Yes.
And coming back to the example you gave on Nokia-Apple battle, do you really think that Nokia has no innovation? Or do you think that Nokia innovates in its core technology, which was phone technology, and Apple came with a bad phone, very bad phone, in fact, the first one, but also with a camera, with a computer in a few cubic centimeters. Yeah. And it was, in fact, a disruptive innovation facing a kind of incremental innovation.
So first of all, let me talk about Nokia, because I know the CEO. They did not innovate. Nokia did not innovate. They were, because I was working for 10 years in that business, and they were so, unfortunately, they could not, and everyone's telling them you have to invest in innovation. They did not. But to tell you, when I say building on the core, what I mean, they're not necessarily, not incremental. So to take cellulosics, what I mean the core, because we have 2 different platforms and imagine you want to marry the natural and the synthetic. This is a huge problem. Nobody in the world yet made it the way we are trying to make it. So we say building on the core mean I don't want to go to a chemistry I don't have. That's what I mean in the core. I don't want to go to the ring opening metathesis polymerization. I don't want to go to something or click chemistry, something I don't have. I have to, each one is an ocean of science. Instead of going outside here, can I build on those by doing something different? That is, of course, we have the open innovation, looking at something else, but at the same time, we have a huge ocean of science, and that's what I'm saying. Work on that ocean that you have and invest in it. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. If there is no more questions,
thank you.
Thank you again, Osama.
Thank you.